Well, questions have been raised by Shadow Transport Minister Susan Jackson over whether payroll tax relief for taxi owners will be retroactively honored at the Transport Control Department. Cabbies claim a government minister made a promise that wasn't kept. Jasmine Patterson tells us more.
Susan Jackson, the Shadow Transport Minister, says taxi owners were expecting a rate reduction to their licensing fees from $1,000 to $600 per year in September, but the legislation for the change has yet to be tabled. In fact, the proposed change to taxi operators' payroll tax was just announced in the throne speech, the government's legislative agenda for this parliamentary year.
Our efforts to build fairness in the tax system extend to Bermuda's small business owners as well. A new payroll tax system for the public service vehicle industry will be introduced, establishing fixed payroll levels based on minibus seating capacity. Additionally, payroll tax for taxi owners is going to be reduced from $100 to $1,000 to $600, which is a 40% reduction.
Ms. Jackson claims taxi owners were met with resistance from Transport Control Department staff, which has left them wondering if they've paid original relicense fees after a false promise. She's also critical of the pace of government implementing recommendations from the Transport Green Paper published 5 years ago. In a news release, she said only 2 out of the 80 recommendations have been implemented, including new electric buses and a digital payment system. The Bermuda Taxi Owners and Operators Association were also hopeful for news on further updates to the Motor Car Act 1951 and the Dispatch Act to support the integration of new technology as the taxi industry evolves. They further asked for TCD to strengthen its vetting process for public service vehicle license holders. The BTOA also telling Bermuda Broadcasting News they wish the government to address road conditions and roadside maintenance to reduce wear and tear on their vehicles. In September, the BTOA had called for tougher regulations for unlicensed ride-sharing companies operating on the island. As a throne speech wish, they asked for the government's commitment to license and regulate all methods of transport on island. They said, quote, "We strongly oppose the introduction of ride-sharing or any similar models that circumvent existing licenses, which could undermine the quality and safety of Bermuda's transportation services." End quote. They concluded the BTOA stands ready to work with policymakers to drive progress and ensure the prosperity of Bermuda's licensed transportation industry. Ms. Jackson added that the government has dragged its heels and added further confusion by not following up with a review of the Motor Car Act 1951. Jasmine Patterson reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.